afternoon, everybody. My name is Mariam Habaji. I just finished my junior year at the Macaulay Honors College at Hunter College, where I'm studying public health and public policy. This time next week, I'll be on a plane to UC Berkeley for a summer public policy program, which I hope will lead me towards a master's in public health and public administration. But before all that, I graduated from the Bronx High School of Science in 2015, a specialized high school. Before that, I went to JHS 127, a neighborhood public school in Parkchester in the Bronx, just like JHS 292, right here in East New York. I actually wrote my application for the UC Berkeley program about my experience with the specialized high school system. Taking the test and then going on to Bronx Science opened my eyes to many questions of equity and access to resources in our city. There was a huge disconnect from where I came from in Parkchester to the kids that I met from middle schools in Manhattan and Queens. These kids grew up in communities who knew the system. They started in test prep in 5th or 6th grade. But for me, our counselor came into our class in September and said, there's a thing called the specialized high schools, you guys should take the test. My dad took me to Barnes & Noble, I got a Barron's book and did a couple practice tests, and yeah, I took the test next month. When I think back, I did have a great experience at Bronx Science. It put me on the path to where I am today, definitely. But it's no joke how few Black and Latino students there were. But actually, it kind of was a joke, because we would make a joke anytime there were 4 or more Black students in one place. We would say, this must be some kind of record, because it just felt that unusual. And this was different from 127, where I went to middle school, and JHS 292, and it's different from the city. And the shame is that there's so many other Black and Latino students like me who didn't have the Barron's book, who scored a few points below the cutoff instead of a few points above. And they really could have benefited from going to a school like Bronx Science. But that's just not the way it works now. The resources aren't there, the access isn't there, and the equity isn't there. That's why I'm so excited to be a part of Mayor Deblasio's plan to move away from a test that a lot of kids like me just don't have the same level of access to. I'm excited that we're working to replace it with a system that ensures that the best and the brightest from every school, from JHS 127 and 292, and neighborhood schools like in Brooklyn and the Bronx, get into specialized high schools. So thank you all for listening to my story, and it's now my honor to introduce Mayor Bill Deblasio.
Now, there is a leader of the future, everybody. Mariama, I want to really thank you. You spoke very powerfully. I think that says it all. You can tell immediately with her strong voice and her intellect what immense potential Mariama has, and what if that day she didn't get that book for test prep, and how many people like you never get that book. Just like you said, how many wonderful kids never get to experience the opportunity they deserve because of a system that's broken. So I want to see a lot more Mariamas going to our specialized high schools. Thank you. This is an issue that really brings out strong feelings in all of us, because we want the best for our children. We have such hope for our children. We love them, we cherish them. I talk to parents all over the city, I talk to grandparents all over the city. Number one thing they think about is helping their children get the best education possible. It's our job to make sure that's a reality. Can't do it with the status quo. This status quo is broken. We have to make a major change. We have to make sure the very best high schools are open to every New Yorker. Every kind of New Yorker. They need to look like New York City. I want to thank all the elected officials who are here with us, because I know this is something they're passionate about. You're going to hear from some of them in a moment, but I want to thank some of the others, including some who are going to have a vote on this and be able to help determine the destiny of children going forward with their leadership. I want to thank Senator Kevin Parker, Assemblyman Michael Blake, Assemblyman Walter Mosley, council members Rafael Espinal, Lori Cumbo, Robert Cornegy, Brad Lander, and Idanis Rodriguez. And you're going to hear from some of the others in just a moment. Now, I want to thank everyone also at this school for hosting us. Let's thank the principal, assistant principal here. Let's thank everyone at this school. Special thank you and shout out to a trailblazer hiding behind me, Dr. Una Clark. Thank you. She's hiding behind me because she's so shy. Let me ask everyone, do we believe in the status quo? No. Do we believe that children should be kept from the best education possible? No. Do we believe opportunity should be only for some, not for others? No. Time for a change? Yes. Time for a change? Yes. Time for a change? Yes. I believe you. I also see, I did not get him before, Assemblymember Felix Ortiz. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Here's what's been happening. It's what Mariam was talking about. Basically, for thousands and thousands of students in neighborhoods all over New York City, the message has been, these specialized schools aren't for you. That's really what they've been receiving. In lots of neighborhoods all over the city, they've been told, in effect, this is not your thing. And the amount of talent that has gone missing because of that is unbelievable. Because talent takes many forms. People are going to be great leaders, great thinkers, great creative presences. They take many, many forms. But you know what doesn't allow us to capture all of that and understand all that? A single standardized test could never, ever capture all that talent.
Thank you.
So the solution is simple. The test has to go.
Yes.
I'm going to say it again. The test has to go. I want to give you a few. I'm sorry, I heard an echo. The test has to go. The test has to go.
The test has to go.
The test has to go.
The test has to go. The test has to go.
All right. I agree. The test has to go. Let me give you a couple examples about how zip code is limiting destiny right now in New York City. Bronx Science. It's called Bronx Science. Only 14% of the students come from the Bronx. Brooklyn Tech. Here we are in central Brooklyn. This is a shameful statistic. Brooklyn Tech, one of the jewels in the crown of public education in this city. 3.4% of the students at Brooklyn Tech come from central Brooklyn. I mentioned the one that drives me the craziest. Stuyvesant admitted almost 1,000 students last time. 10 were African American. 1%. 1%. Under 30 were Latino. 3%. In a city that is majority African American and Latino. It just doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense because of what these schools mean. They are the proving ground for our future leaders. Unless we believe our leaders should only come from certain communities, we cannot have our most prestigious schools available only to some and not to others. So we have to fix this. We have a plan to do it. And I'm going to speak and the Chancellor's going to speak, and then we're going to hear from the sponsor of the legislation that will make all this possible, Assemblyman Barron. But let me tell you, we're going to act right now with the way that we can act, with the tools we have right now with the Discovery program. We are going to use that program in a new and aggressive way to make sure that 20% of the seats in our specialized schools immediately go to kids from disadvantaged communities. But that is only the first step. We need Albany to act. We need Albany to act and pass the legislation that will actually create fairness and get away from this one broken test and actually look at something a lot of us up here really, really believe in. We call it multiple measures. Looking at the child through the prism of their ongoing accomplishment, not just how they did on one 3-hour test. I want to emphasize this, everyone. One time only, 3-hour test. You walk in, you take it, you walk out. It doesn't matter if you're having a good day, a bad day, if you're sick, you're not sick. You get one shot only for 3 hours, and that determines your future. Nothing could be more insane than that. And we don't want to make decisions that way. Our new plan, this legislation, when it is fully implemented and when it brings us a fair way of admitting students, will result in specialized schools in which 45% of all students will be Black and Latino. Now I'm just going to jump ahead because I know what I'm going to hear. I can already write the script. Somehow these wonderful, prestigious schools won't be the same. They won't be just as good if they look different. By the way, anyone who's thinking that, that's an un-American thought. That's an unfair thought. That thought does not conform to the values of New York City. Because beauty and intelligence and strength comes in all shapes and sizes, all colors, all genders. So I want to actually present to you that not only is that a false accusation, and we will hear it momentarily, I guarantee it, it is actually patently incorrect. These schools will get better when they reflect all of New York City. Because so much talent is being locked out right now. So much talent is being missed because of a broken system. We will actually get a student body that not only looks like New York City, but brings a much richer talent base that actually has proven their talent, not just in one room and one test in one day, but over years and years. And brings that creativity, brings that drive, and brings that ability, and that's going to lift all boats. So we could not be more excited. And some will say today, and they are right, justice has been delayed. But that does not mean justice has to be denied. We can fix this, and we intend to in New York City. A few words in Spanish. Estamos viendo una enorme injusticia en las mejores escuelas secundarias públicas de nuestra ciudad. El examen único de admisión deja fuera a demasiados estudiantes afroamericanos y latinos en demasiados vecindarios. Es por eso que hoy decimos, es hora de eliminar este examen y empezar a crear un mejor futuro para todos nuestros niños. It's time to get rid of this test and create a brighter future for our children. With that,